As I mentioned in a previous video, Chloe is not mean. Sure, you can list a ton of instances where she does something that isn't very reputable, good for her reputation, such as when she tries to steal Marinette's diary, or when she turned Kim down and took a picture of how pathetic he apparently looked. But she usually had a good reason on her side, at least in her mind. You see, Chloe is, well, a bit selfish, okay? I'm pretty sure a lot of us have concluded that. But that selfishness fuels some of what she does. If you really think about it, however, everyone is a little selfish, even Marinette. To shed some light onto why I'm saying this, when you hate someone, I mean really hate them with a passion, everything they do is awful, at least to you. It's all opinion-based, as well as who you're comparing her to. Yes, admittedly she doesn't seem to be bullying Marinette for any justified reason, but maybe she is justified. Maybe something happened in their past, something Marinette was ignorant of and failed to recognize. Perhaps she had done something or said something that embarrassed Chloe. Besides that, there is also this small inkling I have that the rude person she attempts to convey is only an outer shell. Think of a chocolate cream puff, for example. The outside is a bit moldable, you see, but if you mold it too much, it cracks, or mushes rather. So I think with the right chain of events, Chloe could undergo some sort of character arc, even on accident. If you've ever heard of the butterfly effect, I think it was something written by Ray Bradbury, a brilliant author I must say, you'd know that even the smallest thing, such as stepping on a butterfly wing, can spark the biggest chain of events imaginable. I have yet to read the story, but I have a general idea of how it goes. So, that sparks a burning question. What on earth will be the determining factor to mold Chloe's shell a bit, even just for a minute? You could answer that in the comments below now, if you'd like. Just pause the video, okay? Okay. Back to Chloe's shell. Why would she form it in the first place? Could it be that she learned things the hard way far before anyone else? Could she have been bullied at some point? Maybe even by Marinette? I mean, I'd like to believe it would have been unintentional, but I've seen people change from a complete bully to someone who wouldn't think thrice about actually standing up for the bullied. We know nearly nothing about their pasts, so is it right to assume that Chloe's really a horrible person at heart? Is it correct to assume that she has not an ounce of good in her, no matter how small or large it might be? Even if it is small, it can be nurtured by the golden rule, if you've ever heard of it, and it can grow. Now put yourself in her shoes. Close your eyes and imagine for a second. Imagine if you had been selfish for a while simply because you were going through some personal issues and you were kind of uncomfortable with how irrational you were acting, and then you'd accidentally gained a sort of respect for your actions, some sort of reputation that people expected you to have. Imagine if you felt pressured to keep that demeanor. Wouldn't you wish for someone to see the good in you? To see past the walls you'd put up? I certainly would. I mean, speaking of personal issues, we don't know much about Chloe's home situation except for how her father is the mayor and how her mother is never mentioned in the show. But then again, I guess a couple characters' families aren't mentioned in the show, especially those of side characters. Chloe seems to be less of a main character than Nino, I guess, or maybe even at the same level, and maybe even more with the miraculous updates we've gotten from the spoilers. His family is not mentioned, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but back to the point. Chloe's father has an important job, and as we can see from Adrian's familial situation, he probably doesn't have much time for her. The only people she would probably speak to would be the people working at the hotel. Not only that, but the guard at the front said that Chloe has no friends. Her father would be too busy to know that. Plus, he probably expects her to be a popular student, because again, her father is the mayor. She even appeared on television with him when he was elected, so people definitely know. Which only further proves the fact that she probably talks to the people of the hotel, maybe even regularly. Telling someone you have no friends isn't exactly an easy thing to say. She might consider their employees her family, but in addition to this, her not actually being mean and all, she might actually be a tiny bit humble. She does say she has no friends when she quite clearly has Sabrina. And she obviously cares about her, which is shown by her look of relief when she gets Sabrina back after she is almost stolen away by Marinette. Which is another point I must bring up. Marinette turned Sabrina against her best friend and stole her away for part of an episode. I'm not justifying the way that Chloe treated her, but I am saying that this is probably theoretically worse than some of the things that Chloe has done. So, what do you think? Is Chloe still forever going to be the mean girl you thought her to be whilst watching the show? Or have I budged your minds a bit? Tell me in the comments below. Thanks. For more videos, please subscribe to our channel. Yes, it's a group channel. And click the bell for a notification whenever we post a new one. We probably won't flood your notifications, but who knows? We might post more during the summer. Bye! Which is another point, Emma. Sorry. Ow! I was resting it on my finger this whole time. Okay,